Harkness, and I'm the Faculty Pro Vice Chancellor for Humanities and Social Sciences here at Newcastle. So the School of Modern Languages and the Confucius Institute are part of that faculty, and it's my real pleasure to be here today to welcome you to Newcastle University for this 21st BCLTS conference on the theme, I don't need to remind you perhaps, critical perspectives on international Chinese education. And I love what you've put afterwards, synthesizing language, culture, and technology in the era of digital intelligence. It feels that that is exactly the nexus that we as language educators need to be focusing on now. It's language, it's culture, and it's now technology. We're deeply honored that you've chosen Newcastle University as the host for this year's conference. And I want to thank all of you who have traveled from afar afield as the old library building, Durham University for some of you, but actually many of you from across the UK, North America, Asia, and even further afield. So thank you so much for coming here to be with us this week. I said just at the beginning that nexus of language, culture, society, and technology just feels like such an important topic. I could see, looking through the rich program that you have ahead of you for the next 3 days, that the topics you're addressing and the perspectives you're taking are absolutely intellectually urgent. They are exactly what we need to be thinking about, as I said, as language educators. And I'd be really interested to hear from Rojan and the other organizers some of the conclusions that you reach at the end of this, or some of the key themes that emerge from this. I know you're taking this from the perspective, obviously, of Chinese language teaching and professional development, but I think the topics you're addressing in this interdisciplinary event are relevant to us much more widely as modern linguists. I'm really pleased that we are hosting this conference and that we've got such a range of global universities and organizations present here. That speaks very much to who we are at Newcastle University and speaks to our commitment to be a global university and to work in partnerships with universities around the globe and to foster and forge new collaborations and develop some of our existing collaborations. And I want to just pay a special thanks to Rojan and the Confucius Institute and Xiamen University as one of our key partner institutions in China for supporting this event. That international collaboration is something that I've benefited from in my career, both as a researcher and teacher, but also now as a university administrator. And I've been very pleased to offer my support to those collaborations in my role as Faculty Pro Vice Chancellor. And I've learned a lot from visiting our partner institutions, particularly for this conference in China. Having the opportunity to spend some time in Xiamen University and more recently to visit partners in Beijing and Shanghai. So I hope you'll really enjoy your time with us. I know this is going to be a richly rewarding event for you intellectually, academically, professionally. And I hope a warm, friendly event where you can have an opportunity to rekindle old friendships and to develop some new ones. I hope you'll also make the most of being in Newcastle. You are here on our historic campus, you're in our historic Armstrong building. You've already had a little chance, I think, to see the beauty of our central campus. Do go and explore the city, perhaps not at 2 a.m., or maybe you will want to go at 2 a.m. As your celebrations continue, but certainly in the early evening, if you've got an opportunity to go down to the River Tyne, see the bridges, explore Quayside, and walk through our beautiful Georgian old town. And I know one of the things that you will take away with you is the warmth of the welcome that you get in the Northeast in Newcastle. So I will conclude here. I will say, I already thank Rojan and colleagues in the Confucius Institute. I want to pay particular thanks as well to Su Fang and our colleagues in East Asian Studies in the School of Modern Languages who've been supporting this event and working with the Society to make it possible for us all to be here today. So we are honoured to be hosting you in Newcastle. We're proud that you have chosen us as your venue for this conference, and I wish you an intellectually and professionally rewarding and a most enjoyable conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel. Yeah, I would like to let you know Professor Nigel has been appointed as the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Newcastle University from the 1st of September. Congratulations. And yeah, now let's welcome Angela Wyszynski. Yeah, she's the head of School of Modern Language. Yeah, and also the CI team is very, very grateful for her support, always support to all kinds of everything. And especially without her great support, the preparation for this conference has gone so smoothly. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'll be fairly short. My name is Andrea Wyszynski, and I'm the head of the School of Modern Languages. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Chinese in our school and in our university. So we've got obviously the Confucius Institute, and I've been working very closely with my colleagues there. And I really got to love the events you are organizing, and I've been part of many of those, so thank you very much. So we have Chinese studies in our school, the School of Modern Languages, and I think what's quite interesting about our school is that Chinese are not just separate. We work very much across languages. So I'm a language teaching professional myself. I'm in German. So I often talk to my colleagues in Chinese and Japanese and French, and we exchange ideas. And as Nigel said, I love your program. I think it's brilliant. And there are many, many topics that would really interest me. And I'll get my colleagues here to feedback to me afterwards as well. So these topics are relevant to us all because we have to engage with AI and see how we integrate it into our teaching and learning. So it's just amazing to see that you are actually going to spend 1.5 days on discussing all these issues. Yeah. So we have Chinese studies in the school, and we have an innovation forum and an annual learning and teaching conference in the school, where we exchange good practice and ideas. And sometimes we may have ideas for a new course or something. So I think it's a really valuable opportunity to talk to colleagues across languages and get inspiration from them as well. We've got lovely students. One is sitting here, and I'm not going to embarrass you, but a singing talent as well, which is lovely. But he wasn't going to sing for us today, unfortunately. But yeah, so we've got really nice students. Actually, we have one student who was awarded an MBE by the King this year. And it was a student of Chinese and German who I personally taught as well. So he's now a local businessman who's still very much in touch with us. Lastly, I want to mention that we in our school, we also have a strand which is called the University-Wide Language Program. So this is a program for anybody in the university who can or wants to learn a new language. And certainly we have Chinese in there. And thank you to our Confucius teachers who have contributed to this program. So Chinese is offered there. So it's not just Chinese studies students who can do Chinese here. It can be a medical student, an engineering student, anybody who wants to do it. Yeah, so and it is popular. Even with our own students studying maybe French and German, they might do Chinese in the university-wide language program. So we will stay strong with Chinese here with the support of the Confucius Institute. And thank you also to my colleagues who are here today and who have been really at the heart of everything we do here. So wishing you a lot of fun, inspiration. Hello. And yeah, I hope you all take something away from it, get inspired, and can use it in your teaching and research in the future. So thank you very, very much, and lovely to see everybody. I know that you're coming to our building later on, so I will look out for you and maybe join you at some point later in the conference. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, and next we will hear from Mark Critchley. Yeah. He's the chair of the Association of University Language Centres in the UK and Ireland. Also, he's the director of the Centre for Foreign Language Study of Durham University. Welcome, Mark. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be back at Newcastle University. I graduated from this building 4 years ago, I can remember. But it's always a pleasure, and we work very closely with colleagues in Newcastle, even though I'm actually from Durham, although I live up the road, so it's only half a mile for me to get here. It's also the second time I think I've addressed the BCLTS conference, so I'm very grateful. Proud to have the invitation from you to speak to you today. Andrea mentioned institution-wide language programs. So I'm the current chair of the Association of University Language Communities in the UK and Ireland, and we represent institution-wide language programs across the UK and Ireland, including the one here at Newcastle, which is excellent. I want to talk to you today, though, just to sort of on a higher level about the strategic place of Chinese in the teaching of languages in the UK. Obviously, in the UK, we have a crisis narrative about how we nationally engage with multilingualism and languages in particular. But the teaching of Chinese in UK universities is now more important than it's ever been, I think. We have to counter certain negative portrayals of China in the media at the moment in the UK, and that's having an impact on the way that people perceive the value of learning Chinese. So we need to counter some of these myths through the education and the courses that we all provide. In some cases, not only with Chinese, but in some universities, we're seeing numbers of students learning Chinese actually falling at the moment, when actually what we need is the very opposite of that. We need more people to study Chinese. And as a result, it's ever more important that we coordinate a more positive narrative about the value of studying Chinese language and culture in the UK through organisations such as BCLTS. At a national level, we're looking to promote the study of Chinese alongside other world languages. There is a tendency in the UK sometimes, and forgive colleagues in French and German, where we tend to focus a lot on European languages. But the teaching of Chinese, Arabic, and other world languages has really important strategic value in the UK as we move into the next century. So, you know, I'm of a generation where I'm about to retire. The younger people who are coming through, who are our students at the moment, are going to need to engage with China and Chinese language and culture in ever different ways that we maybe can't anticipate. Now, we have seen really good success stories, the Mandarin Excellence Programme in schools, and we haven't yet maybe seen that quite so in a coordinated fashion in higher education, but we have the opportunity to do so. And AULC as an organisation seeks to bring people together in networks such as this and to engage with networks such as this to the greater good. And having that level of coordination will help us ensure that we can continue to provide adequate access to Chinese language learning in the future through minimum levels of service provision and what have you. In my AULC role, I've also been pleased to be invited to chair the editorial group for a new initiative, which is called the Languages Gateway. For those of you who don't know it, the Languages Gateway is a website, which is effectively the new national portal for languages in the UK. And it's the public face of an emerging new national languages strategy. And Professor Harkness has been involved in some of those discussions as well. The Languages Gateway covers the teaching of languages, all languages, all the way from primary school right through to lifelong learning, supplementary schools, professional practice, research, teaching, everything. And it's really important that we make sure from a Chinese perspective that we've got really good incentives there as to why people should consider taking up the study of Chinese language and culture, and what the benefits of that will be for them in the future. So I would have also put out an appeal to you all to, if you're not already familiar with the Languages Gateway, have a look at the website, www.languagesgateway.uk. Have a look at the Chinese resources there, and what I'm intending to do is to work with colleagues in the BCLTS to see if we can improve the range of resources we've got available there to incentivize the next generation to think positively about studying Chinese language and culture, be it through deep specialism, through a degree in Chinese studies, or through an elective program such as an institution-wide language program. Ultimately, what we're trying to do nationally is double the number of people engaging in language learning, informal language education at all levels. Chinese and Arabic, as I mentioned as well, really, really important that we do that. And we need more people who are becoming familiar with the study of Chinese language and culture, and how to engage with China on a more positive level in the future. But in closing, my main message to you today, therefore, is one to encourage the close communication, cooperation and collaboration that we already have, both within your own network, but also beyond Chinese with other languages as well. And across all levels of learning, including supplementary education, right through to professional practice. And then in that way, we can then inspire the next generation of language learners and improve outcomes for students, for ourselves, and for the whole of the UK. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the last one is, I would like to introduce the chair of BCLTS, Dr. Wang Xuan. Last summer, we met each other for the first time, and I think we like each other at the first sight, right? So that's because of the meeting we are having this conference. Welcome, Wang Xuan. Yes.
Thank you, Zheng Laoshi. I wish my English is needed. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. English could be as super as the guest speakers. So I'm going to start by using some Chinese, which I'm good at, better at. 尊敬的各位来宾，各位老师各位同事、同学、女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家下午好。Please allow me to first of all, on behalf of the BCLTS.
王老师，您声音太小了，声音大一点。
Still louder? Okay. Please allow me to, on behalf of our society, to first of all thank our guest speakers, and also welcome everyone that comes to our 21st International Conference of the British Society for Chinese Language Teaching, hosted by our wonderful partner, Newcastle University. Many of us probably fondly remember that 8 years ago, in July 2016, we also gathered here in Newcastle University for the 14th annual conference, pushing forward the agenda on Chinese language teaching and learning in higher education. And the 2016 conference in Newcastle was one of the most successful and significant events for our society, and also for Chinese language as a growing discipline in universities. We're absolutely delighted to return to Newcastle University this year, not least because of the beautiful city and university campus, or the lovely Northern English summer weather, which potentially can offer you all seasons on the same day if you're lucky. And in my case, has almost cured my terrible hay fever in July. Actually, Newcastle University is a perfect place for us to host our international conference because of its rich history and pioneering position in the areas of language studies, teacher education, and language-based area studies, in my limited knowledge, Newcastle boasts one of the best Chinese studies programs in the UK as part of these Asian studies programs and many other language programs offered by the School of Modern Languages. And beyond Chinese studies and modern languages, I'm aware of the fact that Newcastle has more than 130 years history of teacher education. It also is the base for the second oldest language laboratories in the UK, dating back to the 1930s. Has also produced some of the most renowned linguists in the world. Those who are interested in social linguistics probably have heard of Milroy and Milroy, and I'm sure people have heard of the names Li Wei and Zhu Hua. I'm very glad to say that Professor Zhu Hua will be with us here at our conference to be one of our keynote speakers. Now, such extraordinary legacy and expertise in Newcastle connects well with what we, Chinese language teaching, needs in order to develop and flourish as a relatively young member of the language communities in the UK, and also very young discipline. However, like all languages, Chinese is at a time of unprecedented challenges. As we have barely recovered from the disruptions of the COVID-19, grasping with issues such as populism, neoliberalism, xenophobia, and the shifting global geopolitical climate that overshadows transnational mobility, intercultural communication, and language education more widely. We found ourselves being confronted again with the new technology, such as the generative AI, taking the world by storm almost overnight. We hardly addressed the technological potentials and challenges of 5G, and we are swamped by Industry Revolution 5.0. And even worse is that as we speak, the entire UK higher education sector has gone into crisis, with languages more often than not being put at the front line of precarity. So looking ahead, as we say in Chinese, 任重道远. The tasks are heavy and there's still a long way to go. So as a society, it is quite necessary for us to place Chinese language teaching and learning in this quite challenging context. So this year, our conference theme is Critical Perspectives on International Chinese Education, Synergizing Language, Culture, and Technology in the Era of Digital Intelligence. I'm trying to cram a lot of in, but indeed, there are a lot of things to talk about. We very much place ourselves in the position of being a growing but interdisciplinary field of studies. And we're very fortunate to have leading experts here to share their status quo research in multiple areas and to show us the rope in their field of work. We're also very proud to see that a total of 60 oral presentations, workshops, and poster presentations by scholars and practitioners from 40-odd universities around the world, 10 different countries that will be on offer in our conference program in the next 2 days. So your brilliant contributions will undoubtedly enriching this somewhat explorative conference and moving forward our thinking and practices in this field. So I hope you all will be enjoying being immersed in the very inspiring cultural and academic milieu in Newcastle. We are extremely grateful to our keynote speakers coming from China, America, and the UK, Thank you for being willing to be here and share with us your knowledge and expertise. We very much look forward to your lectures. And this year, our conference has received kind support from the International Society for Chinese Language Teaching and the Universities China Committee in London. We'd also like to thank our old friends, Sinolingual and Cyprus, who are here, and our new friends, Learn Stepwise. You can see the exhibitions of these companies in the main conference venue. And finally, please allow me again, on behalf of BCLTS, to express our heartfelt gratitude to our most talented and dedicated team of collaborators in Newcastle, the Newcastle Confucius Institute and Chinese Studies, and of course, further afield, Xiamen University. Thank you so much for the hard work and for making this conference possible. Thank you. Thank you. We have no doubt that this conference will be productive and fruitful for everyone. 谢谢大家.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wang Shen. Yeah, it seems that I forgot to introduce myself. Yeah, I'm Ruo Jianzheng. Yeah, the Chinese director of Confucius Institute at Newcastle University. And I would like to very brief introduce of CI at Newcastle University. It started from 2013. Yeah, it's a partnership between Newcastle University and Xiamen University. You can tell from our logo. Yeah, so the friendship between Newcastle University and Xiamen University, I think, has a long history, just like Nigel said just now. And we both will have a better relationship in the future and more cooperation between two universities. So we are the only Confucius Institute in the northeastern part of England. So, and we have only three Mandarin teachers and 2 volunteer teachers. So it's one of the smallest CI in the UK, right? Yeah, very small, but we are a hardworking team. Okay, so when you stay in Newcastle, please let us know if you need any help. Please just let us know. Okay, hope you enjoy your stay in Newcastle. Thank you and very welcome. Yeah, so can we take a group photo now? Yeah, please. Yeah, please organize it. Yeah. Yeah. 摄影师 ，Yeah。就这么做的吗？大家要站起来。
所有人有对着观众席照。你稍微的位置高一点。再下来。可以。我对着观众席照是可以，大家都什么动作？在后面的可能会超出，尽量集中在那个4、5分钟。看一下大概是多远。
那大家怎么站？大象哦，对，只能中间或者你要站在椅子上，站你要站在椅子上的话，这边
老师们往旁边移一下好吗？
站的还是坐着？我们不站着，
就是说要集中在前面的
前面4排。
还在往前面倾斜。
Doing first.